Hello, pleased to meet you all. Don't really see you, but I'm still glad to see you. I'm glad you are there. I'm glad you are following our Congress. My name is Asko Tamme. I'm at the moment I work in Tartu city government, but I used to be the director of Tartu Public Library for quite some time, from 2001 to 2020, and in this professional quality, I was a couple of rounds a member of the board of the Estonian Librarians Association. And here my task is to introduce you to our vision documents. It's the first one of them is on the screen. It's the 21st Century Library, which is a vision document for a general vision document for libraries, which was elaborated in 2016, which was a kind of action, not really an action plan, but a development plan for all libraries. And from this, we moved on with a specific public library assessment model of public library services. And today I'm going to speak about these two documents. Of course, in this framework, in these 15 minutes, not very thoroughly, but the link is down there, and both the documents are available. So the 21st Century Library is the future of Estonian librarianship in the face of all changes. And in the first place, we tried to define what would be the vision of the professional union of the Librarians Association regarding the vision of libraries right now, right here. And it's as stated on the screen, we named a number of qualities: trustworthy, multipurpose, universal, and so on. And the libraries, why we have libraries and what's the purpose of libraries is then in the mission statement of the libraries in general, which would be the support for individuals. Maybe it's a bit different in different library branches or different libraries, research libraries, archive libraries, but the public library network and the public libraries' view on the world and their profession is such that it's in the first place the support for individuals, the support for people to our good citizens, powerful citizens, educated citizens, and so on. And from this point on, what's the general situation we live in? The general situation we live in is these are the trends or the challenges of the 21st century, which is the world is complicated, and we could from these 5 large fields of questions or challenges, we could draw a matrix of a very complicated. I've been thinking about it as a I don't know, 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional matrix on which we could on different axes we could have different views on the society, on the librarianship, and from this point we have to think about the developments we we are facing and the developments we are living in, we have to live in. And well, that's economics, politics, culture, technological and social demographics. And of course, this year has shown us an additional difficulty, which is not on the maybe it's a social demographic issue, that if we have this kind of pandemic, then we have to rethink many of our habits and working routines. Anyway, but we didn't and we couldn't foresee this kind of thing happening 3-4 years ago. So it's not included, regrettably. And so items of the vision, well, the challenges of the vision were there, and now the items of the vision from which we have to depart when we think about libraries. Libraries are, in general, trustworthy, user-oriented, diverse, inspirational, flexible, and accessible. And all these qualities have to be maintained and have to be worked on all the time. It's so all these things are really self-evident. There's nothing new about libraries being user-oriented or inspirational. Maybe I'd like to throw in here a sentence I sometimes use or used to when I used to discuss the libraries, that libraries in general, I mean, that libraries are not institutions for books or for library materials. Libraries are, first and foremost, I would even say solely, the institutions for people, the institutions for citizens, which was, of course, in the mission, in the vision and mission, these two, or this point was mentioned as noticeably as possible. But well, and steps when we thought about the vision or the vision document, the 21st Century Library, when we did it in 2016, we also planned the steps we have to take to be sure or to do our best so that the libraries are, as we planned them to be, trustworthy, dependable, multi-purpose, and so on. And so the steps to take as a profession, both as a profession as a general institution, are here on the screen again. It's description, regulation, development, training, development of facilities, and coordination and cooperation between libraries, between different kinds of libraries. And 2016, we had to start someplace. So we started with the description of services. And so we decided that we'll start with the description of public library network services. And so we departed from, we thought that quality measurement would be a good thing to do, which has been done in different ways. But we developed a complicated and quite large document for this, which we called the, as it was on the first screen, a quality assessment model of public library services, recommendations for developing public library services. But what was important, there are two points that need stressing specifically. In the first place is that it's a tool for self-assessment, which means that the libraries themselves look at themselves and decide if our service is good or not so good? What would be the points to be improved in our services, and how each library could move on? And so that's the important issue is that it's a self-assessment tool, and the next point is that it's a toolbox. It's a toolbox to apply over the self-assessment process, and this toolbox has five compartments, and each of the compartments has a number of smaller, lesser tools, sub-tools maybe. So the compartments are, as on the screen, strategic position, services and availability of services, collection development, staff development, and the facilities of the library, which means both buildings and the technical possibilities. And each of these compartments consisted of a number of lesser subjects, like strategic position. If the library has a statutory development plan, if it's included in the strategic development documents of its owner, cooperation with other local institutions, accessibility, finances, and if librarians are part of the wider decision making. That's and each of these points. The idea was that each of these points is assessed on a 3-point scale. If it's okay, which means that it's really not very good, then the assessment got 1 point. If it was good, then it's 2 points, and if it was excellent, nothing to wish for the better for, then it got 3. And there's a table lower on and the results on. And so each of these points was assessed by library itself, and all the points were counted and put together. So the second compartment, so to say, services and availability of services, the diversity of services, opening hours, feedback question, the development of services is based on the feedback, and then the library's position as a, let's say, in the city or in the village or in the country. So the importance of library as an institution to its community was the main issue here. Then it's collection development, official collection plan, and things like this. Like here's an example, like library material circulation queues are acceptable. And so if the queue is about 5 weeks, in general, then it's 1 point. If it's 4 weeks, 2 points. If it's 3 weeks, then the library, which can say that none of our materials is queued up longer than 3 weeks, then it's excellent, and then it's released. That's the way it went. And staff development, if the library is adequately staffed, related to the number of population, then it was 0.8, 0.9, 0.1 per 1,000 of population, professional training, and so on, and facilities and technologies. So these are the 5 chapters or compartments, and that's now I didn't translate this. That's now a table in Estonian, which is then the first, the strategic position question. Then it's adequate, good, and excellent. And so there's a short characterization, what things to look at, and then the points are given. And the results were that by, I think it was a couple of years ago, that I think it was by the end of 2018, the situation might have changed a bit. 125 libraries had responded to this self-assessment questionnaire, and here we have the the averages of the results, and the average of all the results was that I mean, that's the result. The result is the aim of the tool itself was that the result as such is not so important. The most important thing we thought of was really that the libraries themselves look at themselves and decide what are their problems, what are their good points, maybe weaker points, what's their position in their local community, and what are the issues to be developed on, then on the basis of this of the vision document, the 21st Century Library. And as I think it's now the geographically 125 was 125 libraries. They covered Estonia. So it was bigger libraries, smaller libraries. I know that some of the larger public libraries didn't participate, but we never thought, or this was never the aim or object of this questionnaire, that libraries take it as a kind of obligatory thing that they have to do for something. It's self-assessment and assessment for the owners, the stakeholders, to show, well, we look like this. We are on the scale of Estonian libraries, or on the wider range of Estonian libraries. We are here in this position. That's our position here. And now I'll stop sharing, and that's all. Thank you very much. And I'll be participating in the panel later on. And if there are any questions, I think the questions can be presented there. Thank you very much. Goodbye.